6:45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, read by Soundithavam. The state Vesak festival will be held at the Sri Rattanasiri Piriven Vihara, Kaballavala in Chilao today and tomorrow. The Public Health Inspectors Association says that organisers of dansals should get approval from the relevant MOH office. The Governing Council of the President's Fund met at the Presidential Secretariat. The Ministry of Aviation and Ports plans to develop the Hingurakkota Airport as an international civil airport. Litro slashes domestic gas cylinder prices. Farmers to be given sufficient amounts of MOP and urea fertilizer. In foreign news, Zelensky denies Ukraine attacked Putin or Moscow. In sports, Cristiano Ronaldo becomes world's highest paid athlete. The state Vesak festival will be held at the Sri Rattanasiri Piriven Vihara, Kaballavala, Madampe, Chilao in Puttalam today and tomorrow. The celebrations have been organised as a joint endeavour of the Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government Ministry and the Buddha Sasana Religious and Cultural Ministry. Today is the third day of the Vesak week and attention has been focused to promote cultural values. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena will attend the state Vesak week celebrations tomorrow. The Secretary to the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Somaratana Vidanapathirana, said that 6 ancient temple premises in the Puttalam, Kurunegala and Gampaha districts will be declared as sacred places in line with the Vesak week celebrations. 14 selected Pirivenas in these districts will be provided with sets of valuable Dhamma books. Meanwhile, the Public Health Inspectors Association says that the organisers of dansals during the Vesak week should get approval from the relevant MOH office in the area. Public health inspectors of the area would inspect them for the hygiene of food served to the people. The Governing Council of the President's Fund met at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, marking the first meeting after a 4-year hiatus. The Council comprises of 7 members, including the President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition, the President's Secretary, and 2 members appointed by the President. Venerable Dr. Madagoda Abethisanayakathera is also an appointed member. The meeting focused on implementing several special programs to enhance the services provided to the public through the President's Fund, as directed by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Under the Fund Act, financial assistance is provided for surgery and medical treatment for various ailments. The Ministry of Aviation and Ports plans to develop the Hingurakkota Airport as an international civil airport. As of this date, the airport's administration and operations are conducted by the Sri Lanka Air Force. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva pointed out that Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Sigiriya and Dambulla areas could be developed as tourist attractions with the support of the Hingurakkota Airport. The minister made these comments at a discussion held at the Ministry Auditorium. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Litro Gas Lanka has decided to slash the prices of its products. Litro Chairman and CEO Mudita Piris says the price reduction made as per the pricing formula is effective from midnight yesterday. The revised prices are as follows. A 12.5 kilogram cylinder, 3,638 rupees, reduced by 100 rupees. A 5 kilogram cylinder, 1,462 rupees, reduced by 40 rupees. A 2.3 kilogram cylinder, 681 rupees, reduced by 19 rupees. Meanwhile, Laughs Gas PLC says the prices of its products remain unchanged despite the price hike in the global market. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has made appointments to the National Procurement Commission and the Finance Commission. On the recommendation of the Constitutional Council, Sudharma Karunaratne was appointed as its chairperson, with Varnakula Surya Ivan Tissera, D. Piyasiri Dharanagama, Sumandiran Sinnakandu and Pubudu Asanga Gunavansa serving as its members. Meanwhile, members were also appointed to the Finance Corporation Commission on the directives of the President. Accordingly, Sumit Abesinghe will serve as chairman of the Finance Commission, with Chuan Nalin Osen and Mayan Vamadevan appointed as fellow members. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Ministry of Agriculture has decided to provide opportunities to the farmers to purchase bounty fertilizer for the 2023 Yalla season cultivation purposes. The Ministry of Agriculture has decided to provide sufficient amounts of muriate of potash MOP fertilizer and urea fertilizer to farmers. The decision was taken yesterday under the program to provide fertilizer to farmers for paddy cultivation. The ministry further mentioned that arrangements have been made to provide the fertilizer subsidies given by the government to all farmers as decided earlier. Accordingly, the farmers will be provided with a subsidy of 20,000 rupees per hectare and 40,000 rupees for 2 hectares to purchase fertilizer, and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, over 30,000 dengue cases have been reported over the last 4 months of 2023, the Sri Lanka Medical Association SLMA warned. Accordingly, the Sri Lanka Medical Association stated that while over 30,000 dengue cases have been reported for this year alone, almost 50% of these cases were reported from the Colombo and Gampaha districts of the Western Province. Concerns in this regard have been raised within the Kalutara and Batticaloa districts as well. Data gathered by the Sri Lanka Medical Association also revealed that during the relevant period, 15 persons had died of the mosquito-borne virus. Speaking on the recent surge in the number of dengue patients being reported, the SLMA Assistant Secretary Dr. Lahiru Kodituwaku raised concerns that an epidemic could break out if the situation is not controlled or contained properly, as the number of cases are only going to increase owing to the inclement weather, and came to you in Watchlight. On to a bulletin of world news making headlines this morning. Zelensky denies Ukraine attacked Putin or Moscow. The Brazil police search home of ex-president. And the Fed raises US interest rates to highest in 16 years. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has denied his country carried out an alleged drone attack on the Kremlin, which Russia says was an attempt on President Vladimir Putin's life. Quote, Ukraine doesn't attack Putin or Moscow. It fights on its territory. We are defending our villages and cities, unquote, he said. Speaking on a visit to Finland, the Russian president's office said its defenses down 2 drones overnight. It threatened to retaliate when and where it considered necessary. The Russian presidency said Ukraine had attempted a strike on Mr. Putin's residence in the Kremlin and described it as a planned terrorist attack and an assassination attempt on the president. Officials said 2 drones targeting the complex had been disabled using electronic radar assets, adding that President Putin had not been in the complex at the time of the alleged attack. The police have searched the home of former President Jair Bolsonaro in the Brazilian capital Brasilia as part of an investigation into his COVID vaccination records. The police suspect the ex-leader's vaccination record was forged so he could gain entry to the US. Officers seized the mobile phone of the former president and that of his wife and arrested some of his close aides as part of the operation. Mr. Bolsonaro has denied any wrongdoing. The US Central Bank has raised interest rates to the highest level in 16 years as it battles to stabilize prices. The Federal Reserve increased its key interest rate by 0.25 percentage points, its 10th hike in 14 months. The Fed signaled that Wednesday's rise may be its last one for now. The move has pushed its benchmark rate to between 5 and 5.25%, up from near zero in March 2022. Back to the headlines of the world news. Zelensky denies Ukraine attacked Putin or Moscow. The Brazil police search home of ex-president. And the Fed raises US interest rates to highest in 16 years. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development News.
Emirates has pledged its renewed support to promoting tourism in Sri Lanka through a memorandum of understanding signed with the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau. The agreement outlines a host of initiatives designed to promote the nation's tourism and trade industries and comes as part of the airline's long-standing commitment to Sri Lanka spanning 37 years. Signalling the deepening of a strategic cooperation between Emirates and Sri Lanka tourism forged in 2022, the new Memorandum of Understanding details joint initiatives and opportunities for collaboration that will enhance each party's marketing and promotional efforts to attract travellers to the South Asian island, and came to you in development news. And on to sports, it's soccer. Cristiano Ronaldo has become the world's highest-paid athlete for the first time since 2017, following his move to Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr. Forbes report the 38-year-old Portugal forward earned $136 million over the past 12 months. His contract with Al Nassr is reportedly worth more than €200 million per year. Argentina's World Cup winning captain Lionel Messi is second on Forbes' list, having earned $130 million. That came to you in sports news. We take a look at business news next.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka will close liquor stores during Vesak, resulting in a tax revenue loss of around 1 billion rupees for the government, the Department of Excise said. Following a decision by the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, liquor stores will be closed from today to the 6th of this month. The decision to close liquor stores for 3 days will cost the government 337 million rupees per day, it said, and came to you in business news. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Sri Lanka's apparel export earnings could slump by $1 billion this year, a top industry expert said on Wednesday, as slowing global demand hits the crisis-hit South Asian country. Apparel is Sri Lanka's largest industrial export and earned $5.95 billion in 2022, helping the country as it weathered its worst financial crisis since independence in 1948, triggered by a record reduction in foreign exchange reserves. But the industry's first quarter performance in 2023 has struggled, with textiles and garment exports dropping 13.8% to $1.3 billion, data from Sri Lanka's central bank showed. That's economic news.
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LONC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that showers or thundershowers will occur over most parts of the island. Showers will occur in coastal areas of the Western Province and in the Galle, Matara, Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mannar and the Puttalam districts during the morning too. Fairly heavy showers of about 75 millimeters are likely at some places in the eastern, Uva and northern provinces and in the Polonnaruwa district. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The state Vesak festival will be held at the Sri Rattanasiri Piriven Vihara, Kabella in Chilao today and tomorrow. The Public Health Inspectors Association says that the organisers of dances should get approval from the relevant MOH office. The Governing Council of the President's Fund met at the Presidential Secretariat. The Ministry of Aviation and Ports plans to develop the Hingurakkota Airport as an international civil airport. Litro slashes domestic gas cylinder prices. Farmers to be given sufficient amounts of MOP and urea fertilizer. And Zelensky denies Ukraine attacked Putin or Moscow. With that, we conclude this morning's news broadcast.